Hi, my name's Molly. Welcome to Natural Winos, YouTube channel where we taste, explore, and talk about natural wine. Well, I do the talking. But if you want to talk too, I would love to know if you've tasted the wine we're going to talk about today or any other wine that you have seen on any little episode. I love having conversations and discussing wines and hearing your guys' opinion too. So today we are going to talk about Michel Guignier in Vauxrenard. Funny story, there are two Michel Guigners in Beaujolais. I met this Michel Guignier by looking for the other Michel Guignier. So we had an appointment, my partner and I had an appointment with the one in Mâcon, and we were driving around the day before and we stopped, we went by the sign that said Michel Guignier and we were like, oh yeah, that's where we're gonna go tomorrow at 11 o'clock or whatever it was. So cool, and we're driving around, exploring, looking at things and just kind of trying to get the lay of the land. Beaujolais is one of my very favorite places in France for its rolling hills and very, very rural, amazing wines, just incredible community. So I often just like to drive around there and just imagine what it would be like if I could move to Beaujolais. Anyway, so we saw the sign and we were like, cool, now we know where we're going, we can leave a little later. So we get up in the morning, we have some coffee, yada yada, as you do, croissant, and we go to where we saw the sign. Not realizing that we were not only not in Mâcon, but we were like far from Mâcon. We were in a little area called Vauxrenard, and there's no other wineries around, and there's no vines. And usually when you're traveling in Europe, in wine country, you see rows of vines, and we weren't seeing really any. And we stopped and saw some workers, and we were like, is there Michel Guignier? And they were like, yeah, go across the street, just up that road. So we do. Weird, still nothing, strange, nobody's around. Park the car, we walk over, and it's like the moment where you walk through and suddenly, the curtains part and you're standing in front of 500 million people or whatever, and you're just like, whoa. But in this case, it was vines. And Vauxrenard is facing a forest. The little area is not much under vine. And Michel's vineyard is in an amphitheater style. And then it's all forest on the other side. So he's completely pure. There's no possibility of cross-contamination. It's very, very, very unique place. And we're like, it's now 11:20 and we thought we had an 11 o'clock appointment, and we see this beautiful older woman walking, and she's got a basket and she keeps stopping in the vineyard and picking things and putting it in her basket. Right? The classic story. It's so beautiful. We get to the top and she says in French, what are you doing? And we pantomime broken French, English. She say, we have an appointment. She says, no, you don't have an appointment here because Michel is gone. You can't have an appointment. And she says, hold on, I'm going to go get my daughter-in-law. She goes and gets her daughter-in-law, who ends up being Michel's wife. And she comes out and says in English, you have the wrong Michel Guignier. You have to be in Mâcon, which is half an hour away. So sorry, but now we're enamored. So we say, can we come and taste? No, Michel has gone to this tasting in Paris, I think it was. So anyway, long story short, we discovered another Michel Guignier who makes stunning singular wines, works this property only with his horse. He doesn't speak English. He's maybe tiny broken English. He raises everything that he does, everything that they eat, they raise on the farm. And because the vines are completely untouched by anything else and surrounded by forest, they are just pristine and beautiful in a way that you don't find in a lot of France and a lot of any wine country. So we feel very fortunate to have discovered him and now bring his wines into this part of the world. For the record, we did find the other Michel Guignier, and his wines are also stunningly beautiful, just very, very different. He does a Chardonnay that's I never had a Chardonnay like that before. This is 100% Gamay. It's 2017 because it wasn't ready, so he refuses to release his wines until they're ready. So another really good example of why we shouldn't get so hung up on Rosé being that vintage or very fresh. Sometimes it can actually just be a really well-made wine that happens to be a Rosé. Every time I smell Michel's wine, I don't know, I just get very, they're just so pure and so beautiful, and you can almost smell and taste the honesty and the truth and the love that he has for his vines. It's really beautiful. And this is very beautiful. Super cranberry, super Shiro plum. Lots and lots of cherries, like sour pie cherries and Rainier cherries. Gorgeous color. Oh my God, it must be a flower day. This wine is gorgeous. It's wild strawberries, it's violets, it's creamy in a way that just is viscous in the mouth and just like stays there, and the finish is forever. It is absolutely gorgeous wine. You definitely need to explore and learn more about Vauxrenard Michel Guignier. The other one as well, obviously makes amazing wine also. Maybe a little more classic, whereas Vauxrenard Michel is definitely more wild, and just kind of going his own way. Flower Day, just a really quick little tidbit. And I did look it up while the camera's battery died and found out that it is indeed a flower day. So most of us know what the Farmer's Almanac is. It's a very overview of times that you're supposed to prune, times you're supposed to plant, what is the weather going to be like, etc. And in Biodynamic Calendar, it's very similar, but really dialed in. And so flower days are days when natural products taste the best. So root days, leaf days, those are days when maybe natural products aren't going to be as good as you want them to be. But those are also days when it's time to prune, or it's time to clean up your garden. Flower days are, everything is going out. So we're headed toward a full moon. And so energy is going out, and it makes everything that is alive and in tune with that be a little bit more alive and in tune with that. Not that this wouldn't be just as delicious on a root day or a leaf day, but on a flower day, it is particularly bright and beautiful and vivid. And I always say, you try it yourself. That doesn't mean you have to get 2 bottles. You could just, put one in the fridge and then try it the next day when it's not as much of a flower day. And yeah, you're going to have a little bit, it's been open too long, but natural wine can be open a really long time. I have had natural wines that have been open for a week or more that are just as gorgeous and just as beautiful. So try it, explore it, see what you think. Definitely let me know if you have had the opportunity to taste any of the Michel Guignier wines, this one in particular, and cheers.